to Suite 303. I'm your host, Jay Stoyan. You're in for a special presentation. I'm really excited today as we have a U.S. Marine on our show, a U.S. Superman, a Marine. Wow. I'm so enthralled. I'm so honored to be speaking to U.S. Army Marine, or U.S. I'm sorry, our U.S. Marine, Michael Wooten. And he's also a musician and he is also disabled. So stay tuned. We're going to be back with Marine Michael Wooten.
My God supreme, a winning team. I'm living the dream. I'm living the dream. I'm living the dream and loving my dream. Everybody now.
Welcome back to Suite 303. On the show today, we have U.S. Marine and musician Michael Wooten on the show. Michael, thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me. It's a real honor to be on your show, Jay.
This is great. I'm so honored. I mean, to have a Marine on my show, like being up here in Canada, all you hear is about Marines, Marines, Marines. So, Michael, thank you so much. And thank you for sharing that your disability with us. And obviously that you're a musician. So very, very exciting, very exciting. So let's get right into it and tell us about your career in the military as a Marine. I know our viewers are going to love to hear.
Okay, first of all, in all due respect, I'm a first lieutenant in the Marine Corps. I went to OCS, but to start that, my father was a Marine. When we grew up in Washington, D.C., that's all I knew was the Marine Corps, the Marine Corps, the Marine Corps. So we knew at a very early age that we was going to be Marines, United States Marines. So that's what happened. But what I did first was I went to college first because my mother insisted that we was going to college. I really didn't think that was that college material that much. But we knew we was going to college. So after I went to college, I majored in business administration. I didn't join ROTC. I went to Officer Candidate School in Quantico, Virginia. And that's where I enlisted in the Marine Corps. I went to a boot camp, right, in the Marine Corps. And then we went to the officer school, which is a school to teach you how to be a lieutenant. And from there, man, let me add this. I went to school for business administration. So the closest thing to my major was supply school. So I went to officer supply school in Mulford Point, Camp Lejeune. And from there, I was a supply officer.
Let me ask you this, because I know you mentioned about being first lieutenant. So the last thing I want to do is disrespect your rank. So tell me how important that is when you had to add that in. Like, there must be something behind that, which I respect.
Oh, well, see what happened. Once again, I had a choice after I graduated from college. That's one of the qualifications of being a lieutenant. Now, the sort of difference is that private, they sort of teach you how to follow orders. Being an officer, they more or less teach you how to lead Marines. You know, they sort of teach you that. So I took the choice of being an officer in the Marine Corps, and I haven't looked back since.
Wow, that's so exciting. So tell us like a little bit, because you know the different departments, like Marine, Army, Navy, Air Force. So give us a little overview on how you guys sort of interact with each other and the different levels of respect and all that kind of stuff, Michael.
Well, Marines, what we do is the Department of the Navy. We come under the Department of the Navy, right? So in the past, what we did was we guard naval ships back in the past. Okay. And during the war, we did an amphibious landing. We would be on the ship and we would storm the beachhead. Now you got to remember, one of the things about the Marine Corps, we're always the first to go. We always want to be the first to go, right? So what make us stand out is that we have the uniform. Our uniform is so, we got blues, we got whites, we got fatigues, and you just walk with that pride, because when somebody asks you what branch do you serve, you can respond to that in different ways. You can say, oh, I'm in the Army, or I'm in the Air Force. But when you say, if you're a Marine, you say, I'm a Marine. I'm a Marine. So it's that bravo. It's that, it's like a fraternity. It's like a fraternity, right?
I can see it. I can see it in your eyes and in your passion and in your smile. Like, it's just, you're so proud.
The front of my tags say Marines. The back of my tag, because I live in Georgia, it has a Marine in it. And I got a sticker. I'm surprised I don't have a shirt on right now.
Well, you're looking good. You're looking good. That's for sure. Wow. So again, I just wanted, because a lot of, like, we're here in Canada, and I know we have a lot of viewership on our Facebook page, and a lot of people don't know, they don't know the inside baseball. So tell us again, is the job of the Marine to always be the first one? Like, what is the goal or the focus of the Marine? Always to be the first one in combat, or?
Well, my opinion is that when a conflict is over with, the defense budget shrinks. And the first thing they say is, let's get rid of the Marine Corps. So one of the things we always got to do is, we don't sort of ask for a lot of the budget and stuff. We make do with what we have, or we get from things from the Army or from other things. So that's why we got to say, we the first to go. We got to identify why they still have the Marine Corps. See, it's all what's in the budget. We got to justify why we have the Marine Corps. You got the Navy SEALs, right? You got the Delta Force. You got the paratroopers. So we always got to justify our existence.
Wow, this is so interesting. And to become a Marine, is the level of acceptance that much higher than Army, Navy, Air Force, Delta, or?
Because I didn't go on so I'm not sure how difficult or how easy it is to get in there. I don't know if I can truthfully answer that, being honest with you. But I know.
No, go ahead, Mike. Sorry, go ahead.
But all I know is that once a Marine, always a Marine. Now, hear me out on this, right? I knew when I went in, I wasn't saying, but once again, once a Marine, always a Marine, because I always wanted to go into business. I always wanted to go into business. In fact, let me tell you a short story. I wanted to be a
Let's hold that thought.
Okay.
Let's take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back and you can tell us that story. You're watching Suite 303. We're here with Marine legend Michael Wooten from the USA. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Now, Michael's also disabled, and he's a songwriter, which we're going to get into a little bit later. But he's just about to share a story. So go ahead, Michael.
Okay, now, when I went to the Marine Corps, I knew I was only going to do 4 years. I went in right after Vietnam conflict, right? But I always wanted to be a millionaire, right? And I always wanted to go into the business. The story behind that is when I was born in Washington, D.C., we lived in the projects. My daddy, I had great parents. I had a mama, a daddy. I had great parents. So we was able to move into the suburbs at a house. Now, right beside it was some exciting. I'm not sure you're old enough world book encyclopedias, right? I used to pick up the encyclopedias every night and read something because I always wanted to increase my knowledge. I always wanted to pick up some facts. I really didn't like fiction. I really went into fiction. And most of it was fiction because it was about most of it was facts. It was about the president. But one day I picked up the letter M and opened it up, and it said millionaire. I said, millionaire? What's it? Now, mindful, I'm only 10 years old, 10 or 12 years old. This is back in 1962, right? I picked up the book, and it said millionaire. I said, what's a millionaire? And you know what it said? It said you cannot spend $1 million in a lifetime. You had to buy like 8,000 cars, 10,000 houses. And ever since then, I said, I want to be that person. I want to be that man.
That's a great story.
Yeah. And then one day my daddy said that, I know you know Bob Hope, the entertainer.
Oh yeah.
My father told me, he said, Bob Hope is so rich. He needs somebody to help him count his money, which is now is an accountant. I just kept saying, I want to be that guy. Now, fast forward it, I've been a half a millionaire, right? Because I had, are we still on the Marines?
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Let's move it ahead. Let's move it forward.
I need to tell that story later then.
Okay, so let's hold on. So let's do this. So let's move it ahead because I do want to let our audience know that you do have a disability. So if you could share with our audience what your disability is and how it's affected you and how it's changed your life.
Well, all my life, I've been a severe stutterer. I stuttered all my life up till about 2 years ago. Now, the thing about being a stutterer, you can never drive through a drive-through window because what I had was block. I had block, right? So and during the 70s, all the restaurants was getting drive-through windows. And I'm driving, and that's terrifying if you're a stutter. I mean, because you got that block, so I used to have everybody, I used to park the car and go walk in, right? And naturally, they wanted you to drive through. So you can sort of get your order while you stand in line, but the word ketchup, I could not say the word ketchup. You realize how many times I left McDonald's without ketchup? And when you go into the department store, I couldn't say the word pants. Let's say you go into the department store and you say, where are the pants? The pants, right? I could not get the word pants out. So certain words I just couldn't stutter on. I was a mailman. And in the 90s, they had these gated community. And that is terrifying. When you push the button, hello, who's there? And I just could not get mailman out. So I've been a severe stutter. For the most part, I've been delivered with that. I thank God for that opportunity. And I'm not going to apologize if I say you is, if I say ain't, if I say fitting or fixing. I'm just praising God that I'm allowed to say something and speak.
You know what I like, Michael? It just is so reminiscent because as you know, the Disability Channel, and I'm going to relate this to people that are in wheelchairs. That a lot of our staff, you know, they're in wheelchairs, they have mobility issues, and it's unless you're in a wheelchair, you don't know what you need for accessibility purposes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So people are not on wheelchairs. They try and think they know what people in wheelchairs need. And for you to not to be able to pronounce certain words because of your stutter, nobody would know that but you or your mom and your dad. So thank you for sharing that, because that's such an eye opener that if you don't have a stutter, you don't realize that people can't say certain words because they can't get it out.
And not only that, but you would never tell a joke because the joke is going to be on you at the end, right? And I would never, when I used to go back home, I would never sit by the phone, the telephone, because I couldn't say the word hello. I'd be right by. I made sure that when I home back to my mom, I stayed away from the telephone. But if she went into another room, she'd say, Michael, answer the phone. Mike, answer the phone. And that anticipation, that build up, you get more of a block. So I've been taking speech classes all my life. And then I went to the University of Georgia, had a speech clinic there, right? Because the graduate students, you just like walk in and they would do an assessment and they would teach you different techniques. And in fact, that's how I got to go to Canada. That's how I went to Canada. We had the National Stutters Association in Buffalo. Our annual convention was in Buffalo. So you're going to go to Niagara Falls. So being a stutter, I was able to go to Canada. One of the benefits.
Wow.
But oh man, if you go to one of them stutters convention, you have got to tell the people who work in the hotel that it's going to be a stutters convention and have patience with all the guests, because some people have severe stuttering so fast it'll take them 2 minutes to get a word out.
Well, let's bring up your president, right? Your president, Joe Biden. He's had a stutter his whole life.
That's where I met him. He was at one of the conventions. Now, I think it was the 2000 when he was running for president. So he only stayed for a day. So he left, and the astronaut John Glenn wife was there because she is a stutterer. It's several other celebrities who will be there because they stutter.
About your songwriting. So let me try to incorporate your songwriting in a time frame with you being a Marine and with your stutter. So and then we'll move it right up to the present time. So how did your music fit into those two very important parts of your life?
Okay, now once again, I always wanted to be a millionaire. So I always wanted to go into business. After I left the Marine Corps, I came down to Atlanta, Georgia, right? And I have four goals. Right? One was to meet the governor, that I was going to do something, save a child from out of burning building or donate. I was going to do something to meet the governor or the mayor, right? And that was a goal of mine. I was going to get a government job. Now, I had interviews with other private companies, but being from Washington, D.C., that's all we did was work for the government. I mean, we work proudly now. You work with the State Department, the Agriculture Department. My mother worked for the National Security Agency, our top spy agency back in the 50s and 60s. She was a cryptologist. She decoded codes, which was rare for a black woman to do that, but she was very successful at it. In fact, we couldn't call up on the phone. We could never go to her job, because if she picked up the phone, and so they were great parents. Now, once again, I wanted to get a government job, which I did. I worked for the federal prison doing supply, and then I got a job with the post office. And I wanted to buy a house once every 5 years, which I ended up doing. I ended up buying a house, but I lost like 4 or 5 of them during the 2008 recession. And I wanted to be a millionaire. So I become half a millionaire with my 5 houses. And I just found out last week that if I didn't had cancer twice and a heart attack, and that I had to file for bankruptcy twice, my 401k would have been over $1 million now, because I applied when Jimmy Carter first had it out in the 90s or 80s and 90s. And back then, when I got disability from the $86,000 back in 96. So long story short, now my song, because I'm 71 years old, so some of this I gotta go back 50 years.
And you know what? Your story's going to be told, but we're under a time frame, so let's move it forward to your music now and tell me about Loving My Dreams.
Okay, now once again, when my cousin came down, he wanted to be a Barry Gordy, a founder of Motown. So that's how I got started in the music industry. I had a business administration degree. I had a degree, so I had the businesses, but I didn't know anything about music though. So I just started learning. Every day he used to bring home a musician, a singer, and eventually, you know what? I want to be a songwriter. And they all laughed and stuff. Like, they just laughed. So I know that if I'm going to be a songwriter, I got to study songwriting. So that's the first thing you do. You got to study your craft to the point where you can teach it to other people. And next, after that, I took a piano class, right? And my church also gave classes on producing and writing and things like that. So eventually, I start writing. But what I do, I let the song come to me. I don't go to the song. I keep my eyes and ears open for a title of a song. I would take a title of a song and sing that title with a melody. So you take a title of a song like Loving My Dream, right? I'm living my dream. I really can't sing that well, even though I was in the choir. But what you do is you take that song and you put a melody behind it. You sing the song, right? You give it a beat. So so you got the title of the song, right? And you got the chorus also, because you should be able to take that song and do a repetition of it, do a rhyme scheme, and that would be your chorus. So all you got to do next is just fill in the gap, tell a story, right?
Would you like to donate to our employment programs? Please follow the link below to donate through PayPal. All proceeds go to our programs.
Hi, this is Rocky Blyer, and you're watching the Disability Channel showcasing abilities.
Excuses stop today. I'm going to find a way, yeah. No matter what comes my way, I'm choosing to succeed, yeah. Excuses stop today. I'm going to make a way, yeah.
Welcome back to Suite 303. On the show today, we had First Lieutenant Marine Michael Wooten. He was telling us all about his extensive career in the military, how he overcame his disability, and his songwriting excitement. So we're really excited. And for people who are watching, in the edited version, we're going to be slipping in Michael's songs during our commercial breaks, including Loving My Dreams, which is going to, well, it's already exploding, but it's going to be exploding even more as we're going to be sending it to our affiliates at Sirius XM and all over North America. So we're really excited. So Michael, before we let you go, and we're going to be seeing plenty more of you on our platform, including our media junket. If people want to find out more information about you, Michael, or about your songwriting, or maybe hire your skills, where could they go?
Okay, real quickly, man. Real quickly. Man, I'm not sure if you can see this. Is that backwards? Loving.
There you go. Yeah, we see it.
Okay, this is Lovey. I have the trademark to that Lovey, right? And I'm also in communication with the Canadian Intellectual Property Office also. So I have the trademark with the word Lovey. And with that, I did Lovey My Dream. And in this spot right here, you can put it in, you can put graduation cap. You can put somebody that gets married, like what I did here. I'm not sure, can you see that? Lovey My Dream.
Yep. Very nice.
Lovey My Dream. And they got over 300,000 hits on TikTok. My TikTok handle is at Money Mike. That's Jay, that's what they call me. Money Mike.
Money Mike.
Money Mike 1952. That's the year I was born. That's my Instagram account and my TikTok account. Also, you can do my website at Lovey My Dream LLC, Limited Liability Company, or my Gmail address is once again Lovey My Dream LLC at gmail.com.
Well, that's great, Michael. I really appreciate it. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but we're sort of, what can we do, right? We can only do so much. But again, we're going to be having you back, and we really appreciate you coming on. And we want to give a big shout out to all of our fellow military men and women. Do check out Michael. He's a great guy doing wonderful things for the community. And we're just building our team of veterans across the border. So this is another U.S.-Canada Love Fest. We really thank you for coming on the show today. Until next time, you're watching Suite 303. I'm Jay Stoyan.